All right, buckle up because today's deep dive takes us straight into the world of weight loss. We're going to be talking about Nagano Tonic, and you guys, you send in a ton of stuff.
Well,
Marketing materials, FAQs. I even saw a peek at the ingredients list.
wow.
Yeah, somebody's been doing their research.
Sounds like it.
I respect that. So let's cut through the noise.
Yeah.
Let's get to the good stuff. What's really going on here? The marketing for Nagano Tonic, I gotta say, it's pretty impressive. They're promising some pretty big things,
Yeah.
accelerated fat loss, boosted energy, feel years younger. They even call it a delicious elixir,
Ooh.
inspired by ancient Japanese wisdom.
I mean, who wouldn't want that?
Honestly, they kind of had me at elixir, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. But, it does make you wonder
Yeah.
how much of this is marketing magic and how much of it's,
Totally.
backed by real science.
Exactly. Yeah.
So speaking of that ancient Japanese wisdom angle,
hmm
is there anything to that? Are there actual historical connections here?
Well, Japan definitely has a very rich history when it comes to herbalism, traditional medicine. Practices like Kampo, for example, which actually incorporates elements of Chinese medicine, really focuses on balance and harmony within the body.
Interesting.
So whether or not Nagano Tonic directly draws on any specific Kampo formulations,
Yeah.
that would actually require, a much deeper dive into their ingredients and
Oh,
sourcing.
okay, so maybe a little bit of marketing flair there.
Maybe a touch.
But hey, they do offer a 180-day money-back guarantee.
Oh, wow.
That's a pretty bold statement. I mean, are they just that confident in their product, or is that, kind of a classic sales tactic to get people to try it?
I think it's definitely a strong sales tactic. Makes people feel like, hey, you've got nothing to lose. But on the other hand, it could also speak to the company's belief in their product.
That's true.
It's hard to know for sure without knowing more about, their customer satisfaction, refund rates, that kind of thing.
Good point. Good point. And speaking of needing more information, their FAQ section, I was looking through it, and they actually do address that classic question, is this stuff for real?
Right, right.
And they're, emphasizing natural ingredients, rigorous testing. They even mention an FDA-registered facility.
Okay.
But then, at the bottom there, it's like the little asterisk. It's like, oh, and consult your doctor.
Right.
Which, let's be honest, that's something we should all be doing before starting any new supplement regimen, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's never, ever a bad idea to get personalized advice from your doctor, especially when it comes to supplements, because individual responses can vary so wildly.
So you're saying, like, one person might see amazing results of this and another person, nothing.
Exactly.
Like, why is that? What's going on there?
Right. So many different factors can influence how your body processes these supplements.
Yeah.
We're talking genetics, existing health conditions, even just your gut microbiome.
Wow.
It's not a one-size-fits-all, unfortunately.
Fascinating. Okay, well, on that note, let's actually dive into the ingredient list itself.
Okay.
Because they are really pushing this whole dormant metabolism angle.
Right.
But from, a scientific perspective, is that even a real thing?
It's a catchy phrase, isn't it?
It is.
Dormant metabolism. I mean, your metabolism is never actually dormant. It's constantly working to keep you alive, even as we're sitting here, even when you're sleeping. What they're probably getting at is a slower than average metabolic rate, which can make it, more challenging to shed those pounds.
Ah, okay, so it's more about, like, nudging a sluggish metabolism into a higher gear.
Exactly.
And they're claiming that Nagano Tonic can do just that, thanks to this unique blend of ingredients they've put together. And we're talking green tea extract, mangosteen, Panax ginseng, even apple fiber powder.
Yeah, it's a blend of the familiar and then the exotic.
Right.
And each one comes with its own set of potential benefits and, let's be real, potential drawbacks too. So let's break them down.
Okay, let's do it. Let's start with one that I think a lot of people have probably heard of, green tea extract.
Sure. So the key component there is EGCG.
EGCG.
Yeah, it's a powerful antioxidant. And some studies have actually linked it to a slight increase in metabolism and fat burning.
Slight being the operative word there.
Yeah, probably shouldn't expect a miracle from just sipping green tea.
Even if it's in a fancy tonic.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
While some research suggests that EGCG can modestly boost metabolism, the results are often kind of short-lived, and they really vary from person to person depending on the dosage, other factors. It's not a magic bullet by any means.
Okay, good to know. So green tea extract, maybe a small win, potentially?
Potentially.
Let's move on to something a little bit more exotic, Panax ginseng.
Ooh, yeah.
Now, their marketing materials claim that it's been used therapeutically for millennia in East Asia. Now we're talking ancient wisdom for real. Do we have any actual scientific backing for its effectiveness, or is it more, rooted in tradition?
Well, Panax ginseng does have a very long history of use in traditional Chinese medicine, specifically for boosting energy, reducing stress, even enhancing cognitive function. It's believed to work by something called adaptogenic mechanisms.
Adaptogenic.
Basically, it helps your body kind of cope with stress
Okay.
more effectively.
Interesting.
And some studies do actually show that it might offer some modest benefits for weight management,
Huh.
potentially by regulating blood sugar levels and also influencing these hormones that control your appetite. And some studies do actually show that it might offer some modest benefits for weight management, potentially by regulating blood sugar levels and also influencing these hormones that control your appetite.
So it's not like directly torching calories, but more about kind of like supporting that overall balance in the body, which could then lead to maybe like indirectly helping with some weight management?
Yeah, exactly. But, and this is important, Panax ginseng should be used cautiously, especially long term.
Mm-hmm.
It can interact with certain medications, like if you're on blood thinners, antidepressants, things like that. And some people experience side effects like insomnia or headaches. So definitely not something to just, throw into your morning smoothie without doing a little research first.
Right. Noted. Always consult your doctor, everybody, before you start adding things. Okay, so we've got the Panax ginseng. Let's move on to something a little less, I guess, exotic sounding, but, equally important. Apple fiber powder. They really play up the whole, it promotes that feeling full effect, which, I get it. In theory, less snacking could help with weight management.
Absolutely. Fiber is your friend when it comes to weight management, for sure. It adds bulk to your diet without adding a ton of calories.
Yeah.
So it helps you feel fuller for longer, and that can potentially reduce your overall calorie intake.
Right, right.
Think of it as kind of a natural appetite suppressant in a way. Plus, fiber is just great for gut health in general, which actually plays a way more significant role in your overall well-being, right, and even weight regulation than a lot of people realize.
But gut, it's like a whole other universe in there.
That really is.
Okay, so far we've got the green tea extract, potential, moderate metabolism booster, Panax ginseng, ancient wisdom, potential benefits, but also some cautions. Good old fiber, keeping things moving and grooving.
Right.
But I'm realizing as we're going through this, we're kind of missing a crucial piece of information here, aren't we? The dosages.
Yeah.
How much of each of these ingredients is actually in Nagano Tonic?
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Without knowing the specific dosages, it's almost impossible to really accurately assess how effective this formula could actually be.
Oh.
It's like saying a cake contains sugar. Well, okay,
Yeah.
but is that a teaspoon or a cup? It makes a huge difference, right?
Right. For all we know, they could be sprinkling in a teeny tiny amount of each of these things, just enough to be able to list it on the label.
Exactly.
Which I gotta say, it's kind of frustrating. Makes me wonder, are they being intentionally vague, or are there regulations around disclosing supplement dosages?
It's a bit of a gray area. I
Yeah.
mean, supplement companies are required to list the ingredients, but that specific dosage information isn't always mandatory.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's something to be aware of as a consumer, for sure.
Okay, so dosages, look out for those. Always be on the lookout for that. Now, even with a perfectly formulated supplement, and who knows if this is or not, I'm guessing, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Nagano Tonic is not a magic bullet for weight loss.
You are absolutely correct. As much as we would all love a quick fix, sustainable weight loss, it really boils down to a holistic approach. That includes a balanced diet, regular exercise, stress management, good sleep.
It's like that old saying, you can't outrun a bad diet.
Exactly. You can't supplement your way out of an unhealthy lifestyle.
Right.
And honestly, this is kind of where I think that whole 180-day money-back guarantee comes into play. On one hand, it's clever marketing. It makes people think, well, I've got nothing to lose. But it might also give people a false sense of security, leading them to believe that they can just rely solely on this supplement without making any other changes.
Oh, that's a really good point. So are you saying somebody might think, okay, well, I've got this Nagano Tonic. I don't need to, go for that run today.
Exactly.
I can have that extra slice of pizza.
Yeah. And then if they don't see these dramatic results after a few weeks, they might assume that the supplement's not working without realizing that sustainable weight loss, it's a journey. It's not a sprint.
It's a really good point. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We unpacked the marketing claims, analyzed the ingredients as best as we could, given the whole dosage mystery. We talked about the importance of a holistic approach to health. But this is where I think it gets really interesting, right? Because at the end of the day, It's the listener who's left holding the bottle of Nagano Tonic wondering, should I try this or not?
And that's a question only they can answer.
Yeah.
But hopefully we've armed them with enough information and knowledge to make an informed decision.
Exactly. So what would you say are like the most important takeaways our listeners should keep in mind as they're kind of weighing their options with this?
Well, first and foremost, remember that everybody's different.
Right.
What works for one person might do absolutely nothing for another.
Right.
And, while some of Nagano Tonic's ingredients do show some promise, that lack of specific dosage information makes it really difficult to assess how effective it would be in practice.
It's like they're giving us a puzzle, but like half the pieces are missing.
Right. And speaking of missing pieces, let's not forget about the power of the placebo effect, right?
Yeah. Right. And speaking of missing pieces, let's not forget about the power of the placebo effect, right?
Sometimes just believing something will work can actually, make a difference.
It's true.
So if you're excited about Nagano Tonic, if you're like, this is it, that positive mindset could contribute to a more positive experience overall. But
Like whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
exactly.
So we've got, it's like this mix of intriguing ingredients, some potential benefits, some cautions, that whole dosage mystery.
Right.
And then, you throw in the wild card of the placebo effect. It's a lot to process.
It is. It's a lot to process, and that's why I think it's just so important to approach these things, approach supplements with, informed skepticism. Don't just take their word for it. Do your research. Read reviews from, reliable sources. And most importantly, talk to your doctor.
Yes. Your doctor can help you kind of weigh those potential benefits and risks based on, your individual health history, your lifestyle, all of that. Because let's be real, no supplement is a magic bullet.
No.
Right.
No magic bullet.
It all comes back to the basics.
Sustainable weight loss, overall health, it's multifaceted. It's about nourishing your body with, nutrient-dense foods, moving your body in ways that you enjoy, managing stress, prioritizing sleep.
It's about taking care of the whole you. It's not about just trying to find that quick fix.
Exactly. And, if Nagano Tonic, even if it just motivates you to make some healthier choices overall, maybe it served a purpose.
That's a good way to look at it. So for our listener out there who's been, patiently listening to us break all of this down, what would you say is like the most important thing to consider when they're deciding, okay, should I try this Nagano Tonic or not?
Honestly, it really just comes down to listen to your gut.
Okay.
And I mean that both literally and figuratively, right?
Yeah.
Pay attention to how your body's feeling, how you're feeling, and if you do decide to try Nagano Tonic, start slowly. See how you feel. Observe any changes. And don't be afraid to adjust course if you need to.
Solid advice. This whole deep dive, it's got me thinking. If we were to design the perfect weight loss supplement, but based on actual science, what would that even look like?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, it probably wouldn't be like this one single supplement. It would probably be much more of a personalized approach, right? Tailored to your specific needs, your goals, all of that.
Like a custom blended elixir just for you.
Exactly.
Okay, well, that's going on my list of things to research because I kind of want that now.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into Nagano Tonic. I hope you guys feel, more knowledgeable. You can make informed decisions about your health journey.
Yes. And remember, the most important voice to listen to is your own.
So true. Until next time, stay curious.